Let's head out to Belpre now as the Lady Golden Eagles were hosting the Lady Eagles from Eastern Reedsville. We pick it up in the first as the Lady Golden Eagles, with some nice ball movement, finding Chloe Cooper open in the corner for the long two-point jumper. She nails it, 2-0 Belpre. Next possession, Eastern's Kristen Fackler finds Braylon Simpson, who misses it but gets her own board and cleans it up to tie it at 2. Later, after a missed shot here, it's Gracie Bills from Belpre with the steal to get the quick finish and extend the Lady Golden Eagles lead to 4. Still in the first, off the inbounds pass, it's Adelaide Stewart burying the corner 3 to make it a 7-point game. Belpre would go on to lose a tight one by the final score of 40-37.